Hello physical fiends, it's Jordan here with another worth a purchase where I play a game for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself. Today we have the return of a gaming legend, at least if you're into niche stuff, Shiren the Wanderer, with the first original new title in a long while. This is available digitally, but of course we are about the physical releases here at Physical Paradise, and it is available physically on the Nintendo Switch, seemingly an exclusive. If you want to purchase it, check the links below, but let's see what I think. So if you don't know what Shiren is, it's pretty much the pioneer of the mystery dungeon genre, which is a subgenre in the larger roguelike umbrella. On the whole, I'm not much into roguelikes or roguelites, but there's something about the mystery dungeon type that somehow sings to me. You enter the dungeon at level 1, if you faint, well then you have to start over from scratch, level 1 again, and you lose all your items. It's a harsh mistress, but there are mitigating factors and mechanics you can use to make things not so devastating if you take a loss. You guys may know about Azure Dreams, which I made a whole 2-hour video about over on A Bit More Jordan. For me, that is the best mystery dungeon style game ever made. It's not in the mystery dungeon series, but it's the same kind of game, so I was excited about this. These are very methodical games. This isn't the kind of intense balls to the wall action roguelike where you're swinging your weapons for dear life. Here, every move counts, like a game of chess. When you make a move, then so does the enemy. It is turn-based, but it's instantaneous. You have to manage your health, you have to manage your hunger, and your limited item management. I have to say though, well, maybe it's because I'm quite experienced in the genre, but it does feel like this is a more accessible entry in the series. What I mean is, it's not very difficult, at least in the hour or so that I played so far, and I didn't come close to fainting, which could be a good thing for those interested in getting into the game, but maybe hardcore fans will find it a bit more boring or repetitive or, slow to get into the juicy stuff. Each floor of the dungeon is randomly generated with monsters, items, and its layout, so you're relying on a bit of luck to get decent or useful stuff. Sometimes between floors, you'll enter into some small populated areas to stock up on items, sell stuff, which can be a good or a bad thing. It's a bit of a risk. I sold off half a dozen really useful magic scrolls so I could buy a badass sword, but then as I continued my adventure, oh look, there is that sword for free 2 minutes later. Wonderful. I love it. I love the aspect not knowing what's going to come up. I'm already quite impressed with the variety of dungeon environments. Usually with these sort of games, you do get variety, but it's at hour intervals. Here, it's almost every floor or something, and I really appreciate that. I can't wait to play more of this. There's just a lot to get stuck into, and of course, I would purchase this myself. In fact, I will eventually. It's just kind of hard to justify it right now when I just got a download code from the publisher. And I think the price might be a hurdle for some because this is not a cheap game at all. It's super niche, and they want to make it worth it, so the price is high. I mean, it's a full price game, which I know it doesn't look like it in terms of presentation, but so far I do like the effort put into this aspect, and it's obviously not AAA, but there are cutscenes and stuff, way more than I expected. But yeah, I think this is the kind of game you'll probably play much longer than normal AAA titles anyway, so if you're into it, it's probably worth it already. Although, as some advice, the previous game, which is also on the Switch, is 30% the price of this. So if you want to try that first, see how you feel, that might be a better option. Although physically that's not easy to get a hold of these days. I will pop down links for a Japanese version, which does have English. But then again, that import isn't as cheap as it would be digitally. Personally, I do recommend this new Shiren game, Shiren 6 as I like to call it, because I don't like to say its long subtitle. And I say, if you can get over the price and are interested in the Mystery Dungeon series, I don't think there's a better place to start. I'm just happy one of my favorite genres is getting a wide release, and hopefully it will mean more quality titles in the future. Just to reiterate, this seems to be a Nintendo Switch exclusive game at the moment, and you can pick it up with the links in the description if you want to support me. Thank you kindly.